What's up everyone? Shane here with RVs of America or ROA Off-Road. Today, I'm going to do a full in-depth tour and review of the all-new Conqueror UEV 19. This is the first ever in the United States of America. We just got this just recently and we're the first ones to have it. So you're getting an exclusive look at this, brought to you by ROA Off-Road. We're going on 2 weeks of having this at our facility and we have pretty much been off-roading in it every day, camping in it. I've taken it down to Moab, done some crazy off-road trails, a 7 rated trail on the Jeep scale rating from 1 to 10. It's a 7. All of that footage is coming. The first episode probably already came out. By the time you're watching this, you can already go and check out the very first episode of that. The trailer, I'm pretty impressed with it overall, and I do want to jump into this trailer right away, right now. Okay, let's start with a little bit about Conqueror and who they are. Conqueror originally started about 30 years ago in South Africa. They started out as a military production vehicle manufacturer. And a few years into producing vehicles for the military, they moved into the civilian sector and started building campers. Their motto is military tough. And they're pretty dang tough. They really are. Just like any other camper or trailer or anything in the world, they're not without problems. Things can still break. But in the market of the RV world, especially when you're talking United States camper world, these things are so much better than anything else in the US market. As far as the standard, there are now some really cool stuff coming in the US, made in the US, that are very, very, very good and premium. But compared to the run-of-the-mill, this thing is way, way superior to anything you're gonna get out of Indiana, with the exception of a few things now that are coming to the market. So Conqueror, like I said, they have been making a similar model to this. It's called a UEV 25, and that's in South Africa. We have not seen anything like that into the United States until right now. This is a UEV 19. That is, the box length is just about around 19 feet. The overall length is closer to 25, 26 feet. And I guess that's why they call it the UEV 25 over there, because of the total overall length. The 19 is more the box on this unit. Now that reminds me, let's get into some of the specs. Let's talk about the overall length, width, height, and the capacities, the tanks and everything. Like I already mentioned, the box, the exact dimensions of the box length is 19 feet and 5 inches. This is on the exterior. The width of the box is 7 foot 3 inches, which is a really good width. That kind of tracks your tow vehicle very well. Your total width is 7 feet 7 inches. That's including the awning and anything that actually is coming out from the box. The total length of the entire trailer is just under 25 feet 4 inches. It's about a 25 foot 3 inches and 3/4, but 25 foot 4 inches right there. The hitch does stick out a little bit farther, but because it's a big hitch, you can actually move it down and have a little bit more space. I would just be safe at 26 feet. If you have a garage that's longer than 26 feet, it will fit in the garage. Now, the height of the box. This is with the max PSI. So the absolute highest this trailer will be, to the very tippy, tallest, highest point of the roof, is 9 feet 7 inches. So maxed out, if you have a 10-foot garage, you're gonna be able to roll this trailer into your garage with it maxed out. Now, if you put the airbags to the absolute lowest PSI, you're right at 9 feet. So no, please, if you have a 9-foot garage, do not call us and ask us if you can fit it in your garage, because it will not go in your garage. It will scrape. If you have a garage that's 9 foot 2 or 3 or 4 inches, I would be okay with saying, yeah, you can get it in your garage. But you know, putting it at its absolute lowest height is 9 feet exactly. the weights on the trailer. As I mentioned, we weighed it. It weighs in at 6,560 pounds dry weight. That means empty, without anything in it. You have a GVWR, which is a fully loaded, what your trailer is rated, and this is actually the suspension itself, is rated for 8,376 pounds. So you have 1,816 pounds of cargo capacity. So that's your water, your dishes, everything that you want to put in this trailer. Now the water tank capacity right now, stock, it's actually sitting at just about 64 gallons. And so you're looking over 500 pounds of weight just on your water, 550 or so, which gives you a lot of room for cargo. Over 1,200 pounds of cargo capacity is pretty phenomenal for a trailer this size. That's a lot of weight. I don't see too many people filling up more weight than that. Now, something really cool that we want to talk about is we do have a spot where we can add an optional water tank in the trailer, and it will be in a good central location, so it will be balanced. It will increase your tongue weight a little bit, but we're going to be able to option this trailer's water capacity from 64 gallons to over 100 gallons of fresh water. Pretty exciting. This is going to be one of the most capable trailers with some of the things that we're going to be able to do to mod it. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the off-road numbers, because everybody wants to know clearance. The travel on the actual air suspension is 7 1/4 inch of travel up and down, which is pretty incredible. That's a lot of travel. That's more than most airbag systems. This airbag system is pretty cool, designed out of the lowest point of clearance on this trailer is the sway bar, and that's about 15 inches, and that's in the center by your axles. And your lowest point of a water tank is going to be about 17 inches of clearance. Your frame up in the front area, you're going to have closer to 20 to 21 inches of anywhere on your frame for clearance purposes. Now let's talk about the departure angle. The departure angle on this unit at the very, very lowest point in the rear is just over 21 degrees of departure. And that's actually the jacks in the back. These jacks potentially could be removed. They are pretty strong. We were dragging the butt of the trailer and hitting those jacks on rocks and in dirt, and they didn't even get damaged. If you were to remove those jacks or knock them off, the departure from anything else is actually just over 23 degrees of departure, which is pretty good. So 21, 23 without the jacks. Those jacks almost work as a body armor though, because they are pretty strong and robust. Just to give you some comparison, the new Ram TRX departure angles is 23.5 degrees. The Ford Raptor is just over 24 degrees. A stock F-150 is 22.9 degrees of departure. So if you're looking for a capable trailer, this trailer's departure angles is going to be right in that same area as a truck, an F-150. And so wherever your truck is going to go, this trailer is going to go there as well. And those are pretty great numbers for a trailer that's almost 26 feet long. The last thing that I do want to mention is the inside dimensions, and mostly just the height. It is 6'7" from the floor to the ceiling. That is unbelievable. And a king size bed. Wow, very, very cool. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the construction materials, etc. Starting with the frame. Always want to start with a good foundation. It is a hot dipped galvanized steel. If you don't know what that is, it's the same process that they use to make freeway signs or fences, chain link fences, or actual posts for like piers at the ocean. Galvanization is one of the best things you can do to prevent corrosion on steel. And so that's why you'll see it on freeways, is because it's typically a steel. The second steel is forged, once it hits the atmosphere, it can start corroding. So immediately whenever you forge a steel, any type of steel, it has to go inside of a house so it doesn't corrode. Otherwise you have to do some sort of powder coating. Powder coating is a lot cheaper. Galvanization is the most expensive process to make steel last forever. Not forever, I take that back. About 100 or so years in the harshest climates. So that's what the whole frame is. Obviously, these are very commonly found in Africa and Australia, and to them, that's very important because a lot of they're on the coast. So galvanization, frame, everything is welded with extra bolting at any type of weak points. You can see down here, they've added, this is the weakest point of a frame, and they add this extra weld plate here. The actual construction material of the unit itself, the actual box or the skin of it is going to be an aluminum sheet. So you have aluminum, and then you have this exoskeleton frame out here with the rivets that hold it all together. It's very, very strong. All of this is aluminum. Majority of this trailer is aluminum. Everything from the actual frame, the box, to the actual cabinetry on the inside. And I'll get to that more and show it off in a little bit. But as you can see, this is where your propane tanks are. You have two 20-pound propane tanks right here. This is an aluminum box, pretty light. This whole thing right here is aluminum. You also have some laser cut with the cool stitching, the UEV 19 and the Conqueror on the front. Up here, you have storage space with actual points where you can strap and ratchet stuff to it. So if you want to put firewood or whatever you want up there, soft goods, something that you can store up there. This thing has a very good amount of storage all the way throughout. The front area up here, there's a lot of space up here. Moving on from that aluminum construction to the galvanized chassis, let's talk about what this all rides on, because that's important. And I like to always tell people, people that are claiming to have an off-road trailer, ROA, we're one of the very first people to import off-road trailers into America. And one of the things that we found out really, really early in the game when we were importing stuff here is an independent suspension versus solid axles. It's a night and day difference when it comes to off-roading. As a matter of fact, solid axles and leaf springs, I don't believe you can consider your trailer an off-road trailer if you're running a solid axle or a leaf spring. If you don't know what that is, you can go do some research. Briefly, if you go back and look at old trucks, from the 70s, 80s, some of them still have, the rear of heavy duty trucks do have leaf springs still because it's really strong and heavy duty. But leaf springs have been around since the 1800s. You can see them on carriages actually, and old trucks. And if you get in an old truck and you're driving down the road, when you hit a bump, the whole truck shakes because it's so stiff. That's what most trailers in America are running. They're running on a leaf spring, which is just steel pieces of metal, and then a solid axle. And then if they call it off-road, they just flip the axles, make it a little higher, put some bigger tires on it. To me, I think that's really silly, and that's not an off-road trailer. As we started importing and getting stuff from Australia and Africa and all over the world, we realized real fast that a true off-road trailer needs independent suspension. Whether it's coil or gas shocks or gas shocks with airbags, independent is king. And this has a airbag man system. This is a very, very common system you see in Australia. Pretty much everybody who's using any type of airbag system, they're going to be using these airbags. The pump, the compressor, the whole system is all built by Airbag Man, really reputable company. But here you have a 4-wheel independent suspension system with 4 airbags and 8 gas shocks. You also have limiting straps so it can't overextend. In between the suspension, you have a connecting sway bar system, and this system tows amazing. A lot of people are like, do these off-road independent suspension trailers, do they tow not as good as a solid axle? The answer is they tow way better. They actually are. This trailer right here is one of the best towing trailers I've ever towed, and I've towed well over 100,000 miles. I've towed over 100 different types of trailers. Fifth wheels tow amazing, right? Because the way they're connected to the truck. But as far as like the weight of even a fifth wheel, that solid axle, when you hit bumps, the whole trailer rocks, and it does this motion where it kind of jerks you back and forth in the truck. Because of the independent suspension, when this trailer hits a bump, the tires just articulate one after another. Also, when you're going over ruts or bumps, one tire goes up, the other tire is down low, and then once it comes down, the other one's going up, so it just articulates through. The difference between this type of suspension and what you're gonna see in a standard trailer is a Cadillac versus an old 70s 1-ton truck. It's night and day. And that's what is so cool about this system. The airbag also duals as an ability to be able to level your trailer when you get to camp from side to side. So when you pull into wherever you're going, if your trailer's crooked, generally you would have to drive up on blocks. With this, you're just gonna jump out, press a button, and the trailer's gonna level side to side, any direction you want. And then the front tongue jack, you'll level it front to back, and you're ready to go camping. Makes the camping experience so much more enjoyable, and you're not worried about getting on blocks and chalking your wheels and maybe rolling off the blocks. I have rolled off many, many blocks. The tires, Load Range G tire. It's a 285/75 with a 16-inch rim. They do have electric drum brakes, and these brakes are actually really good. Obviously, disc brakes are like the golden standard, but these ones actually grab really, really well. So it's a good quality brake. Like I said, I've been off-roading in it all last week, now this week too. And these brakes, you put your gain all the way, actually if you put it up to 7 or 8, it's locking up the brakes completely. And I've experienced with some of our other off-roading trailers with poorer quality brakes where they don't, you put it all the way up to 10 and they're not grabbing fully. So these brakes will completely lock up. They're very, very good brakes. And that's with all the Conquerors that we have. They tend to put just a little bit better quality stuff in everything. Wardrobe change. It's really cold up here. I just put my Alaskan boots on. Anyway, I was talking a little bit about the towing and the suspension and how those things are essential to be considered an off-road trailer. Now keep in mind, we've taken trailers off-roading to places that, oh my goodness, you should not go with a trailer. But by doing all of those things, the reason why we do those things is so that you don't have to, but you know that it's capable. But by doing those things, we tend to test things and push them to the limit more than anybody else in the marketplace. And one of the things that we now say is essential for an off-road trailer is the hitch setup. This right here is an articulating hitch. Now there's a few different brands out in the marketplace. I love this Mick hitch, mostly just because it's the easiest hitch to set up that I've ever set up. It just locks in kind of like a docking station for like a spaceship or a fueling, a fighter, the jets, they can lock right in. Locks right in, easy to set up, but the most important thing is it articulates and moves and swivels in every single direction, 360 degrees. Like this thing moves in every direction. And that's really important because when you're off-roading, when we were down in Moab, if we didn't have this hitch, at some spots it would have got caught up and it would have snapped if it was a standard ball hitch. You can't go with a standard ball hitch. It needs to be able to move in every direction because as I'm dropping down with the trailer, also we were over at Swing Arm City, right? And there's some hills that I'm dropping, the trailer's almost nosediving, the truck's almost flat, right, on the ground. And in a ball hitch, that would just get caught up and snap. Right here, this allows it to be able to articulate all the way up 90 degrees or more, and then side to side over 360 degrees. And so when you're on a road where the trailer needs to go into one direction and the truck's, pivots in another direction, that it's all in the hitch where that movement is happening. Normally on a regular trailer, it's actually going to be putting a lot of stress on the frame of the trailer itself, and you're going to be twisting and torquing the entire trailer. And I've seen this with standard trailers when you're driving up mountain roads, just on the pavement, like taking these sharp turns. If it's a long trailer, the whole trailer can twist and bend, and over time you start seeing stress cracks on the trailer. I've seen this on a lot of fifth wheels. And a lot of times the doors, the compartment doors or the actual doors themselves will pop open because the trailer twists so much, it pops open. That's not gonna happen with this style of hitch. Also up here, we have a e-brake, which is really cool. So when you do get to camp, Opposed to having to run out and throw some chalks or rocks or blocks or whatever you have to stop it from rolling, you just pull this brake, then you level side to side, you're done. Really easy. We do have the standard 7-pin, but it comes with an Anderson plug, and this is a direct feed back to the main batteries. And the Anderson plug is really nice because it gives you an ability to charge, put a lot more amperage into your battery system while you're off grid or while you're towing it down the road. A standard 7-pin is going to be very, very minimal. It's like a trickle charge, a few amps per hour. This could allow you to up to 50 amps of power back into your battery bank. I really like this, and this is an actual feature that I've never seen on any trailer except for the Conqueror trailers. This is the jockey wheel. It actually goes over here and mounts on the backside. And the nice thing is if you're on a steep hill, you can mount it really low down here if it's a long drop, or if you're on a short drop, you can mount it right here. And then when you're actually off-roading, it comes up and it's completely off the trailer. I mean, it's above the frame, and you're not going to smash it into anything. Really, really cool jockey wheel system. Very robust and strong. We've never had any of these fail. We've had actually lots of trailers with this other jockey wheel called the Arc, and we've had those fail a lot. Just as you're winding them up with the wheel, they're just not as strong. This thing is like the most robust jockey wheel I have ever seen. And that is like a patent jockey wheel system that Conqueror makes and designs themselves. Now, moving over into this compartment, everything is lockable, and this is all aluminum. Got a nice little handle right here that opens up. You have a very good seal, and this also bevels out, and you have a drainage right here, so the water can't actually get in past the seal. Right here we have the Airbag Man system. And this system, you can operate all of the 4 independent airbags separately with this. As you can see, you have the buttons, you have up or down, and you have the tank right here. This tank is a lot larger than the standard tank that you would see in the UEV 14 or the 490. And right here you have the compressor. It is really nice that they actually have the tank, so the compressor fills the tank and it allows you to lift the bags up quite a bit faster. Right here you also have a little chuck where you can pull this cap off and you can plug in an air hose, and you can be able to pump up your tires via this tank and compressor, your trailer tires, your truck tires. You could even pump up an air boat, an inner tube or whatever if you're out on the lake. This right here is a gas line, which leads me into the kitchen area. So let's check this out really quick. Okay, right here, as you can see, all of the hinges are riveted into the aluminum, and you have bolts right here that hold on the hinges. Right here, you have all locking compartment doors. These are a cam lock, and what's nice about these is if you look at it closely, when you actually twist it, it actually sucks in close to a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch. So it just gives a better seal. And you can see this whole door is all aluminum. And right here you have the nice seal, and once that tightens it up, it's going to seal this compartment a lot better. You have this double locking mechanism that holds in the sink, and as you can see, this is a propane connection for that other spot, and that's just for the grill. It has a 2-burner Dometic stove right here. You have a larger BTU output right here for grilling, and then a smaller one for kind of warming things up, maybe simmering some hot water. Right here you have your sink, and this gives you hot and cold water, and there's no connections to deal with on this, and I really like that. Those little details just make it so much more convenient. And the whole water system is on a track system in here, and it's really cool. It looks kind of like a snake, and it just snakes itself back in, and all the water lines stay always connected. So when you get to camp, you just turn on your water pump, your hot water heater, and you're ready to go on the outside. Everything here is aluminum. You have some stainless steel. Yeah, I love the engravings, how they put the Conqueror UEV 19. These are also lockable. Don't know why you would want to lock them, but maybe if you want to stash something in here, you don't want somebody to steal your whiskey glasses or something. I don't know. I think the whiskey is what's expensive, not the glasses. Over here, I love this setup. I've seen this on stuff like Earth Roamer. I'm not sure where Earth Roamer actually got the idea, because Conqueror's been around for 30 years, Earth Roamer's been around for like 20 years. So I think Earth Roamer probably copied Conqueror. I don't know, I don't know who's copied who, but everybody's always copying each other to some degree. Learning, it's called best business practice. But yeah, one of the things that I love is you have your plates, you have knives, you have all of this stuff comes stocked. So when you come and buy a Conqueror, you're pretty much ready to go camping. You fill up the water tanks. Here at ROA, if you ask us and say, hey, I want to go on a camping trip, can you have it ready? Like, we'll fill it up for you, get your propane tanks filled, get your water filled, and you just go camping and have fun. Go maybe stop to the grocery store on your way out so you can stock your fridge and go. Really cool. Make sure you shut that. That's a user error. That shuts up nicely right there. Right here, you have another compartment. As you can see, we put our firewood in here because we're planning on having a campfire later today. We are doing these new, they come out every Thursday. They're called Campfire Rants. Let us know if you like those videos. We just want to kind of like distill some of our experience and knowledge of the industry. But we didn't want this in the bed of the truck because it's snowing. So we threw it in here, but this thing is actually really, really deep. All aluminum too, this whole tray. We have another tray right here with an outside refrigerator. That is so cool. This is a 40-liter refrigerator, and it is a fridge or freezer. So if you wanted to put meats in here and freeze them, if you're on long hauls, you can definitely do that. Really cool is because the inside fridge can be your regular everyday food you're eating. Here you can put the stuff that you grill, which is right next to your outside kitchen area. So really like this. Also, it's all wired in, it's plugged, so it's always set up to run. If you don't want the fridge, you could just remove it, take it on a road trip with you in your truck. That's what's really cool is this is removable. You can use it. We have one of these fridges at our house when we have parties out in the backyard during the summer. We'll take it out and plug it outside and fill it up with waters or drinks or sodas. It's because you don't have to use ice. It becomes a fridge, freezer, whatever you want. So I love that you can utilize that not just for the trailer itself, and you could just make it into an extra storage area. But let's walk on over in this direction to check out this. Okay, and something you can never have too much of is table space or prep space. If you're out cooking and you need some extra table space, you have a nice tray right here. The cool thing about this spot right here is this window opens up pretty high, and right on the other side is the kitchen. So you have your full kitchen counters, your sink. So if you're out here cooking food, you know, over at the grill, prepping stuff, you know, you could have somebody inside at the sink washing vegetables, dicing, chopping things. They could be passing them through the window, setting them out right here. And so you can be cooking and putting stuff out here for everybody to eat. You can never have enough prep area. Right here you have some outside speakers that are controlled by the radio on the inside, and this will work off of Bluetooth. These are marine speakers, and they will work off of your cell phone, so you can play some music. Also, let's talk about the windows while we're right here. These are a Eurovision. This is a very, very popular window in the off-road world right now. We actually have a video where I threw a rock at these windows. You'll have to go check it out and see if they broke. They're very strong windows. Baseballs, bats, rocks, they're breakable. You'll have to go check out that video, but they are very strong. They're like 200 times stronger than glass in the same diameter for actual break resistance. So for off-roading, they actually make a lot of sense. I'll show you the screens and the privacy shades on the inside when I get in there in a bit. But they are dual pane as well, so good for some insulation. Now moving back over to here, this is your positive air pressure system. You don't really see this in America because most people are not going off-roading as much, but this system, you just turn it on and you hear that pump. There's a filter in there, and what that does is it pushes air into the trailer, filtered air, and when you're driving off-road, if you're in a really dusty area, dust is going to try to intrude through any crack it can. And so this is pushing air inside and essentially pushing the pressure so that dirt can't intrude into the trailer itself. And you only use that when you're off-roading, and when you get to wherever you're at, hopefully the trailer's not super dusty. That's the idea behind it. Up here, I do want to mention the awning. It is an electric awning. And you also have some nice lighting out here. The official production units are gonna have lighting all the way around the trailer. These ones right here, you can see right there. Okay, coming over to the back area, as you can see, we have our spare tire. We have the Conqueror iconic or signature grill. This comes on all of the Conquerors. This thing actually slides out and gets put over a fire, so you could use it as a grill. Here we have our jerry can holders. These are lockable. They come with little locks, so you can put water, fuel, whatever you need. Honestly, my experience is more often than not, water is the thing to bring in the US. We have fuel pretty readily available. Up here you have some traction boards, and up here you have another storage area. Probably need a ladder to get to that, but it is there for stuff, whatever you want. Now, back over here, you also have some stabilizer jacks. These are made by ARC, and they just drop down and give a little bit more stability. Obviously, you level side to side with the air system, and then you can drop those down just to give you a little bit more stability. If there's high winds, it's gonna be more solid. 4 wheels on the ground is pretty stable. You also have these recovery D-rings right here that are connected into the frame. And these jacks, by the way, are very strong. We actually dragged this entire trailer multiple times in the last week while we were off-roading. And we ended up dragging these. They almost worked as a body armor. And worst case scenario, if you knock these things off, they're pretty inexpensive to replace. So the departure angle is actually pretty great. Okay, coming over to the driver's side, right here, first thing, we have an outside shower. I'll show you this really quick. It's pretty cool. We could also install one of those little outside shower systems that would just mount right here. So if you did want to shower outside, I would not recommend showering outside in these types of conditions. There's an inside shower for that. But if you wanted to, or if you're at the beach, you know, somewhere in the summer, the nice thing about an outside shower is, you know, you have kids, you have a dog, you want to spray it off, you want to spray your boots off outside. What's really cool about this is this hose comes out pretty far. So if you want to kind of get far away from camp and spray off and not get mud right here, or if you did want to get that shower system set up right here, we could install that for you, and this would mount nicely right here, and you could control your hot and cold out here. I love how this one kind of feeds in to a spot, and then it actually fits in nice and tight right here. And these showers, these are super efficient, low flow, and you can actually turn them on and off, you know, so you get you to your temperature. You can lock it on where you're showering, or you can just spray for a second and then turn it off to conserve your water. Because when you're off-roading and out off-grid, water consumption is key. Over here, we have our water setup. Right here, we have 2 different things right here. We have the entire trailer has 2 separate water tanks. This is for multiple use cases. Obviously, it's good for the balance, right? You don't want to put, you know, 50, 100 gallons in one spot. You want to kind of separate that. And then you could also potentially fill up one tank and with stream water and not contaminate the other tank, if that makes sense. So you could always say, hey, maybe the rear tank you always put in water from a stream so you can shower and do things if you're off-grid a lot, but the other tank you never put anything but fresh drinking water in it. Some people don't do any of those. They just put fresh water all the time, and when they're out, they filter it into the tank. You also have a city outlet. So if you do go to a campground and you want to plug in directly to pressurized city water, you're good to do that too. And a lot of people, like, that's something that I do try to explain to a lot of people is, like, buying an off-road trailer is not just for the off-road, it's for any type of camping. Like, you can go to a campground with one of these trailers. It's kind of like, to me, I believe like our products, our trailers are like an off-road version of an Airstream, right? Beautiful, high-end, quality, very, very good fit and finish on the designs and the materials. So that's kind of like how I always tell people, wait, what kind of trailers do you sell? And I'm like, well, they're not like regular trailers. And I always tell them, the way I explain it is, if you imagine a Jeep Rubicon got married to an Airstream, and they had a child. That's what I sell, the child. I sell an off-road, off-grid, rugged Airstream, essentially. So that's what these trailers are. You don't have to stick just to the off-road. Right here we have the vents for the refrigerator, and let's move up here. Okay, one thing I just like to point out is this is all metal, right? We're talking all aluminum, steel, the whole trailer. You know, there's no wood in the construction of this trailer. Everything is metal, aluminum. Right here, these wheel wells, I see so often in like standard trailers, these things, they just screw on some plastic skirting, you know, like a wheel well that looks nice. You have a blowout and it's just destroyed, right? That's not gonna happen with this. Besides that, it looks rad and just rugged. It's actually robust and strong. Moving up here, we have our fresh water tank up here. So we have an additional tank. This right here is the Truma exhaust. I'll talk more about the Truma inside. I actually do want to get inside pretty quick. It's getting cold out here. Right here we have our connection. This is a 50 amp connection. That's to plug it in if you're on shore power. Obviously, we have solar on the trailer for 100 amp hours stock. Here at ROA, we can upgrade that to a much more robust system, but right out of the gate, you have 400 amp hours. Another cool thing is the air conditioning unit, which I'll talk about inside, is also an under-mounted air conditioning system, which means that gives us more capability to add more solar on the roof without having that AC in the way. Once again, all aluminum. I love this. I know I have said that a million times, but it's really cool. These storage containers are very deep. This is the bedding it comes with. And you also have some points on the side where you can actually strap things down. So if you are doing some crazy off-roading, things aren't flying all over the place. And then same up here, we have another tray. And these are very, like I said, very deep trays. I mean, this is a one wheel. It's pretty heavy actually, and very big. It looks like it needs a new tire. Be careful. I've seen some like almost wiring on that tread. You're gonna have a blowout. Our video guy rides that one wheel to work all the time. Okay, let's move on up here. Up here, this is the other side of the storage compartment from where the compressor was on the other side. Right here, this is actually a mount. This thing moves this way and flips open, and you can pull this out and stick an axe right there. It is also lockable, as well as the compartments themselves. So opening this up, trailer comes with a Hitch, and that's what you see in here right now. But this is a very deep storage area. Mounted up here is an actual shovel for recovery, and you also have a jack right here that's mounted right up against the wall. You could also easily mount this over on this side. Lots and lots of storage space. You could stack some bins in here and mount everything on the side to really utilize a lot of space in here. Anyway, let's head on over to the passenger side and show you the inside, because let's just face it, ladies, that's what you've been waiting for. Guys just care about the outside and if it looks cool and rugged. The inside is for the ladies, and it's beautiful. Let's go. Okay, I am ready to head on inside. Let's talk a little bit about this door. This door is nice. When you open this, first off, I want to mention how this has a double latch. As I mentioned earlier, I've had experiences where, you know, when you're hitting the off-road, the trailer's twisting so much that a single latch, sometimes the door pops open. You have to lock the deadbolt. Some trailers don't have deadbolts, so it just becomes kind of a nuisance. It's annoying. This one, because of that double latch, you're not gonna have those issues. This does come back, and it latches to the side of the door, so it stays nice and tight. This door has a trash can. This is so cool. This is the first time I've ever seen this, and it's so silly. It's not in the way of anything when you shut the door, and it actually is removable, so you can take it off and dump it out, put a bag in it. Nice grab handle here. This locking mechanism, really cool. When you're on the inside, you just push it and the door is locked. And you pull it to open it. Right here, you have your nightshade, so you can block it off. And the window is a dual pane window. Also, you have a screen that comes all the way out. The screen itself is very, very fine. So you're not gonna be able, mosquitoes or little midges are not gonna be getting through the screen. And then it just kind of slides right back. You have your steps right here. You just press it and they open. Easy peasy. Let's go on inside. Here we are inside. This trailer is pretty beautiful. It has a very modern, sleek design to it. I love the coloring, the grays and the whites. This trailer is the perfect his and her trailer. The inside, beautiful for the ladies. The outside, rugged, robust for the guys. There are so many cool features in this trailer. There are a few things that could be improved. One of the great things about working here with ROA Off-Road is we can retrofit and modify all of the trailers that we carry. And you know, it's just since I've been in it, now we're going on 2 weeks, I have found a lot of little things that we could make improvements on. But overall, this camper is pretty sweet, and I want to kind of go through and touch on some stuff. One of the things that I have noticed is it is running the Truma Combi Eco, and that's a 2-stage furnace system. It's also a water heater, so it will heat up your water system, but also work as your furnace. And it works in stages, which is really cool, is because it's variable, you know, where it's not going to use as much amperage on the low end. The max, the high end, if it's pushing out 14,300 BTUs, you're using about 6 amps. But like I said, it, you know, when you put it onto Eco, it drops down, preserves the power. I've been now camping in it. The lowest we've gotten into it is 21 degrees, and it has been unbelievably comfortable. We're probably in the 20s right now with the snow outside, and it's nice and toasty in here. One of the things I do love about it is it's all ducted. Some of the cheaper trailers out there in the market, they'll just put a single heat and it just blows out in one area. There's one exhaust. This one is ducted. There's one right down by the bed where my feet are right now. There's one over here down by the bed, and then there's one over by the kitchen area just below the fridge. One of the things that I would improve on it, and this is something we can do, we've done this before already in the past, is just add a T and have an exhaust going into the bathroom itself, because the bathroom does not have a heat exchange in it, and we'd want to have a little bit of heat going in there. And sufficient amount of heat. BTUs, I think, is it's a great size. This trailer is not considered a 4 seasons trailer. We could do some things to make it more capable, but overall, you're not going to want to be in temperatures below freezing for extended periods of times, unless you do some modifications to it. Hey, what's up, Tony? How you doing?
Good, man.
Taking a look at it down there?
Yeah, so we were checking out to see if we could possibly do a winter package on this, and it's definitely very feasible.
Okay, why so?
Well, so what they did is they actually ran all the water lines up inside the trailer next to the heating duct, and so it's going to allow us to better insulate that and do a full winter package on it, so we don't have to worry about it.
Incredible. It's because I didn't realize that. I've been in it, and I honestly have been just off-roading. I haven't crawled underneath it a ton, but it's been in the shop this whole week, and we've kind of been tearing it apart. And you're saying the water lines are actually above the floor.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah, so we've got some plumbing that we would need to cover, but other than that, all the water lines are inside, which is a huge deal.
That's amazing. Now, we've done like how many?
A few hundred.
Yeah, a few hundred winter packages on other trailers we used to sell that were Australian. Yeah. All the water lines on those were all exposed underneath the trailer, and we were able to create a winter package.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is going to be a 4 seasons trailer.
Yeah.
If people want it.
Yep.
That's incredible. That's a huge deal, because this trailer is amazing. And you were mentioning, I overheard you guys saying you might be able to put a bigger water tank in it.
Yeah, we found a good spot to put a water tank inside the trailer.
And so we're talking 64 gallons in the trailer right now, but we're potentially going to expand it up to 110 to 120 gallons of water.
Yeah, doubling up.
Oh my goodness, this is pretty awesome. 4 seasons. There, you heard it. Let's do it. But overall, like, we've been dry camping. We don't have water in the system, obviously, but the actual trailer itself stays nice and toasty as we're camping and staying in it. I love the decks. They're really close to the floor, and it blows along the floor, so it keeps the whole floor really nice and warm, which I like. I've had some trailers where the floor is like, you walk on it where they just put the ducts, the actual heater doesn't keep the floors warm. The air conditioning system, it's an HB, or that's an underbunk Houghton 9,000 BTU. One of the things that I love about it is that it's actually ducted, and it has 3 different ports. One is right here, the other one is over on this other side. They're actually right next to these fans, so you can actually turn on these fans, and it has different speeds, and then you can actually do a timer, 30 minutes all the way up to a few hours. And it's really cool that they did it right next to the AC port. So when you turn on the AC, it's gonna push the air throughout. And there's actually fans, there's 4 fans in this, one over there, one here, and of course, one over here. So when you're out camping, it's key to, like, energy efficiency. These things are using, oh man, it's less than an amp. It's like I think it was close to not even a quarter of an amp, right? Like a 0.1 something. They come with little remotes too, but you know, to have that cool air kind of circulating all over you, it's gonna just be nicer for camping off grid. Which brings me to the bed. This area, let me tell you, it is a king size bed. Pretty cool. 80 inches long, so that's considered a standard king, 80 inches long, and it's a 71 inches wide, which is a California king in width. Technically, it is a king. It's going to take king bedding. Very, very rare to have a stationary king size bed in a trailer this size. I think in the dwellers, we have a king size bed. The UEV 14 has a king size bed, but those beds, you know, you're folding and popping out. This is always going to be stationary right here. You can have your bed made, and tons and tons of space. This bed has a ton of storage. This actually comes up and hinges, and I love this thing. I don't know, winter jackets, blankets, whatever. You could be your laundry hamper. You could even fit a human being in there. Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, hey.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Lots of space, comfortable down there?
It's very comfortable. You can pack a whole tech support agent with you.
Oh, wow.
Which is nice.
The tech support. This is Sam. He's part of our tech support line. So if you're a roamer and you dial in, I need help, SOS, call. He's on the other side of that line usually helping you. Also the booth. This booth, you could fit easily 2 kids. It's a very wide booth. I had my cameraman, he was sleeping on it all last week. He's 6'1", and he slept very comfortably on it. He actually left this mat up, but this actually comes down and you have plenty of length on this bed right here. Now I want to just climb up onto this bed right here and point out a few things. Right here, you have this nice storage compartment. This is pretty deep, just to give you an idea. This is, hand size, and it almost fits that easily in this direction. So a pretty good amount of space. This is your books and your instructions. Right here, it has a nice little suede backing to it, and it's wrapped with this vinyl leather material. It actually feels very automotive. Got a piano hinge right here holding it all together. Right here we have a 120 outlet that works off of the inverter. So if you're off a grid, I was plugged into my computer and I was sitting back here hanging out working the other day. Back here, as you scoot back here, you can see you have a little magazine rack holder. I was putting my glasses, my phone. Right here you have 2 USB plugs. You have a 1 amp and a 2.1 amp right there. There's also lights back here, reading lights for nighttime. And then you have the exact same thing over here on this side. Nice diamond stitching with the vinyl leather material back here. They've also kind of used this throughout the entire trailer, and it feels very like automotive or marine grade with this leather material. I love the lighting all the way through the whole trailer. You have lighting, all these light bars going through the entire trailer. Over here, huge windows. And a lot of times they actually do these in reverse on most trailers. And everybody's like, why don't you put the nighttime shades on the bottom so that you can lift it up and still look outside, but have a little bit more privacy as you walk around? So they've done that little detail, and I really like that they've done that. This has a screen and a night shade, And it gets very dark at night when you close these up. But you can see how much light comes in from opening these. Bring this all the way down, and you have tons of light in here. If you get somewhere camping, you're gonna just have so much space. It feels very, very open when these windows are completely open. Also, you have a dome right here with a screen, or you have a nightshade as well. And this opens up, and you have a light right here. So getting lots of airflow. If you're out camping, you can open these up and get the fans going and just have tons and tons of airflow. These windows are really cool too. These actually have 3 different stopping points. When you open them up, you hear the little click right there, and that just kind of gives you a little bit of airflow in there. If you want to open it up even more, you get to right there. And if you want to open it up even more, there you go. And both sides, you get a nice breeze, nice cross breeze, and then you can bring it back in and lock it up. And these windows seal really well. We're really familiar with these windows. We've used them a ton over the years. Okay, one of the things that you see in a lot of these trailers is they have some cabinets on the side, and it's hanging stuff. They did away with that. Instead, they put cabinets all the way along the top. Honestly, I don't like the cabinets on the side because they're really hard to get to. There is a cabinet in the back next to the bathroom where you can hang up like shirts and clothes and dresses. And to me, that makes much more sense for wardrobe. But you do have a lot of storage throughout this entire trailer, all the way around. And this is pretty deep. It's hard to tell sometimes in the video, but everything on this is aluminum. Look at this right here. This is aluminum. This is aluminum. These heavy duty hinges. One of the things I was a little worried about, these don't have a locking latch. They kind of have they pull, and they have a little bit of pressure, but you can pull them out pretty easily. And I was worried about as we were off-roading, because I had these all stocked. I had a lot of stuff in these cupboards last week when we were doing some of our crazy Moab stuff. For all those haters out there, sometimes people make comments, "You're not even off-roading with stuff in it." And I was like, okay, let's make sure we put stuff in it. Let's load this trailer up so people can keep their comments to themselves. No, troll comments, right? Anyway, there is a little lip right here. And so I had like my computer over there and a bunch of stuff all through here. I had my backpack and goods up here, and these never actually opened up at any time. And we were doing some pretty crazy articulating side to side. And this lip, I think, holds stuff in pretty well. And one of our guys, our camera guy, was saying like, because this right here, this is wood, it's solid wood, but they've actually cut these holes through it just to kind of lighten up the weight a little bit. And he's like, man, you could like bungee things if you really were worried too. So that's kind of a cool little feature. Lots and lots of storage all the way through. This is our little vacuum that we had. This right behind here is really cool, this aluminum right here, and there's a little plastic thing. And behind that is your channel for all your wiring. So no wiring inside the walls, right? If you ever need to access electrical, all this stuff is right there, easy to get to. It pops off and you can access that nicely. Over on the other side, I'll give you another example of how they've done that. This is really important. Obviously, you know, we sell the product, so we have to work on it and fix things. And it's really frustrating when you can't access certain things. This right here is also an access. You pop that out and it's just electrical right there. You just have wiring behind there, but it's all, you know, hidden and you don't see it. And then this just goes in and locks nice and tight. I have not had a single door, drawer, or anything open during our entire off-road excursion and testing over the last week. I do want to point out right here, lots and lots of plugs. You have your 100 volt plug outlet right there. You also have some USBs, so if you want to be charging some cell phones right here or whatever, you just fire up your inverter. Down here you have more outlets. You have an actual 12 volt outlet, so it's like a cigarette lighter, so you can plug in. My camera guy appreciates that because he has this huge power strip, but it only works off the cigarette lighter, so he was plugged into that. You also have these 2 USB plugs. Of course, the buttons for your awning, your electric awning, and your step, and it's labeled. Everything's labeled, as you can see. There's pictures. There's even a picture of the awning, a picture of the steps. Right here, you come to your control center. And you have your DC outlets, you can turn on your switches, you have your water pump, your lights, your fridge, your media. This turns on your TV and some other things. And then you have your master switch right here. And then you have your fuse panel. You just unscrew this and pull this out. And then you also have your management system. This tells you your battery voltage, tells you your water tank. You have a back water tank, a front water tank. It tells you your energy coming in or coming out. And then moving up to the top, up here, you have your Renogy solar charge controller. And it's crazy. It actually says we're bringing in a little bit of amperage, so through the snow, which is unbelievable. Down here, we have our fire extinguisher for safety. Over here, we have our AC unit, and this is the underbunk or floor mounted air conditioning system. This also has a heat pump. So it's a 9,000 BTU air conditioning unit, ducted to 3 different ports, but also can operate as a heater. So if you are at a campground and you're plugged in, it's not gonna it's only gonna maybe change the temperature 10 to 20 degrees in the trailer. So it's not a very, very powerful heater like the Truma heater, but it is an optional heat source. So if you are at a campground, you have free power for a day or a couple days, it's included in your bill, might as well turn that on and then you'll have heat. Electric heat. Over here we have our light switches. This turns on the switches just above the kitchen sink area. And then you also have your outside switches. You have your door handle switch for a little light on there, and then you have a switch for your main lights on the passenger side outside above your kitchen area and prep area. Down here we have our Truma. The Truma is a really cool system. We've done some videos on the Truma. Like I said, it works for your furnace, your water heater. You can even set it up where it turns on and turns off at certain times. Very, very efficient system too. All works off of propane. And down here we have our Renogy, and this is our inverter system. This gives your powers to your outlets when you're off grid, and when you're at home, you turn it on and it engages the charging system, which charges your batteries. Let's head over to the kitchen area and talk a little bit about it. Okay, moving over to the kitchen area. We have a bunch of cabinetry under here. This one is not super deep or big. You have a deep storage, like the whole length of this countertop essentially, so you can put some long stuff in there. Right here, this is an access panel to get to your electrical system over here by the door. Now these doors actually do lock. They have these handles right here. There's a lever and they lock. Right here you have a good amount of storage underneath the sink area. It's actually massive. I actually like how they built this little wall partition to separate the space so it's not all open. It also creates some rigidity to this point where you actually latch the doors to. And they actually are all soft close and locking, so they can't actually open while you're driving down the road. We have a oven and stovetop. This is not a induction, it's a gas or propane stove. The sink area right here, this sink is massive. It comes with this little drying rack. This actually like closes in. It actually collapses it and you can store it somewhere. But this sink is super deep. As you can see, it's almost my entire forearm depth right there. So you can put some big pots and pans, and this comes out and you have a spray nozzle. And then you also have this dry rack, so you can slide this around and wash your dishes and put them up right here to get them all dried. Huge window again. And once again, I love how the tray is right here. So if you are like getting stuff, prepping stuff, you have a pretty good amount of counter space right here. You can use this too, and right here, but you can actually open this up and pass things out to the people there. And you have a little rack right there, lots and lots of storage all the way through here. You can see, I mean, this is pretty deep. These are our bungees. I don't know why we got bungees in here. That's the duct for your actual vent. So you have your, while you're cooking, and then you have a light right there. This TV actually has straps that hold it in place while you're off-roading, but if you want to, you can utilize this, move this around. And this is a 12-volt TV, so you don't have to be running the inverter to actually operate this TV, which is nice. It's funny too, it's because we were going pretty hard at it last week off-roading, and this TV really just stayed in its place. It's not a huge TV. We could easily upgrade it and put a larger TV there, but it wasn't moving all over the place. We've had trailers where you get there and the TVs are like falling all over the place. Over here, we have some more drawer space. It's amazing how often I walk into trailers and I'm like, there is no drawers. All you did was cabinets. Like, why? Like, I don't understand. You can put your silverware here. Of course, we have drawers out in the outside kitchen with silverware that already comes stock, but you can also put more stuff in here because obviously you're gonna wanna have a drawer. It's all aluminum too. All of this right here is aluminum. We'll talk a little bit about the actual walls and the cabinets in just a second. But yeah, you can see that all aluminum, lots and lots of storage space throughout here. Okay, I want to sit down at the table, talk a little bit about this, and talk about the materials of the cabinetry in here. Walking in a winter wonderland. Well, hello. It's feeling like Christmas. I'm so excited. I love Christmas. And in a cool trailer, you can come over to the mountains and just chill in the snow. It's pretty cool. It is actually very peaceful. We came up here and there is nobody up here. We are totally alone, which is good. It's just fun. Here I am now at this table. This table is very large. As you can see, I could personally, if I scoot to this side, you could easily sit another large adult right next to me. You can put 2, comfortably even 4 adults at this table. You could sleep 2 small children here for sure as well. I love all the little things they got going on here. Once again, this automotive or marine style, leather that they've done. You have your outlet here. We've been in this trailer for like going on 2 weeks, right? Last week, me and my camera guy were sleeping and working in this trailer. People think we're out just playing, but we're out filming, running all over the place. It's very stressful filming when you're doing ridiculous, stupid stuff and you feel like you could crash trying to test the trailer out. And then at night, we get together, we're dumping footage, trying to edit things, put things together. I'm getting caught up on emails because I do a lot of other things besides just film videos, right? So I was over on the bed hanging out. I have my plug over there. These are like little things. Until you're camping in it, you don't realize like, wait, where's a plug? Where's an outlet? He was right here. He had his plug. He had all of his gear over there getting charged on the countertop, and then he had his computer here plugged in. Lots of little ports right here. Look, 4 plugs, 2 different separate ports for charging cell phones. You could charge 4 things. When you're out with camera people, they need like a dozen ports to plug in, like batteries and drones and cameras, and they have 3 different cameras. Right here, you have a nice little stereo system, Bluetooth, FM, AM, auxiliary, nice little setup. It works your speakers over here in the bedroom area and your speakers outside. You have your light switches, and this works all of these light bars all the way around the trailer, as you can see. And then you have your rope lighting up above. That is right there. So now let's talk a little bit about this table, because it actually has some unique features that you don't see in a lot of trailers. Number 1, you have nice little cup holders, which is kind of cool. Besides that, this table does a few things. It is mounted to the floor, and it has a heavy duty metal mount, and the table drops down very easily. You just press the lever right here and push down. As you can see, I can't go down too far because my legs are here. You're gonna put it down and turn it into a bed, because this cushion comes out right here. As you can see, there's a strip right here. This one's a little bit thinner because this cushion fits nicely in between right here and here. And then that slides back up here, and there's another lever over here. And check it out. So for you pleasantly plump people, and you need a little bit more space because you got a big gut, you can push the table away from you, and you got lots of space. For you really skinny people that, maybe the table's too far away, you can slide it all the way to you, and you have more space. If you just want to be able to get in and out of the table easier, you can just step on out You can comfortably step in and you can adjust it to whatever you want. If you really wanted to, you could slide it in this direction, and you could kind of lounge and put your leg up and just like chill. I don't know why you would do this, but you could if you wanted to. So lots of cool little movement with this table. I actually do like this side to side motion, because I do find myself wanting, like my little daughter, she might want it a little closer to her, and I want it a little bit farther away from me. So actually I would find myself using that a lot. My camera guy, he was mostly at this table, and there's a little latch right there and it just locks back in. There you go. Now I want to talk about the materials inside this trailer, because I've talked already about the walls. These are aluminum, right? The outside is aluminum. The roof, the ceiling, everything is aluminum. Okay, a little bit more detail on the actual walls themselves. Like I said, it's an aluminum skin. The exterior skin, it's about a 1/8 inch thick, and then there's a skin on the inside. At the shop we actually tore off a panel, and you'll see that. We could show off the interior of the walls. It is a high density foam board. It's 1 inch thick, and so there's actually no studs, and it's a one-piece composite, essentially an aluminum composite with a high density foam board installation throughout all the walls. The nice thing about it not having studs or wiring through the walls is that tends to make it so there's less points of thermal bridging, and it also allows for it to be extremely light. And this trailer, for the size that it is actually pretty light. I want to now talk about the cabinetry and what it's made out of, because we've had some trailers that we've had just horrible experiences with cabinetry, right? With delamination. You use cheap materials, honeycomb, with, you know, thin veneers. We've also had, I mean, one of the most common cabinetries that the American industry uses is a particle board or a press board. It's like literally sawdust, right? And they push it together and then they put a sticker over it. You throw some water on that, the sticker just peels off. And you know, it is what it is. It's cheap, it's light, but cabinetry, like, is just a frustrating thing when your cabinets are falling apart. This cabinetry, I have a piece of it right here. I am pretty excited about, because I don't think it's going to be falling apart anytime soon. As you can see, the actual facade or the face of the cabinets that you see up here, this is all aluminum. And if you open it up, this side banding is also aluminum. Now, if you come back down here and look at this thing, you can see that this banding right here, if you look at the edge right here, this is metal. You can see the aluminum right there. And the actual front of this is painted, right? You have a matte paint, and then you have kind of like an eggshell paint on the inside right here. But if you look at the edges here, you can see how this is all aluminum, and this entire center core is a honeycomb aluminum. So it's very light, but actually feels very, very strong. We were actually cutting some pieces earlier because we were fitting in the fridge, and we had to cut up some of the cabinetry to get it all fit in. And as you can see, it's pretty cool. I've never seen cabinetry like this. I'm really excited. I'm like, it looks kind of like a radiator. You see all that aluminum in there. It's very light. Once again, we weighed the trailer on the scale, and it was 6,560 pounds. And for a trailer this size, that's pretty dang light. Like, a lot of trailers this size they're pushing 7,000 plus pounds. So to be in that 6,500 pound weight range, that's pretty impressive, especially with how robust everything is, the galvanized chassis and the suspension, everything. So there you go. I am really excited about this cabinetry, probably more than anything else in this trailer. I think that's something that really sets this trailer apart from anything else. Now I'm going to get underneath the booth and show you what kind of power system we're working with in the UEV 19. Here we have a battery bank. This is 3 standard AGM lead acid batteries. They are sealed batteries. This is definitely one of the things that I would recommend changing sooner than later. You know, you could run with it and see how it goes. It really depends on the use case that you're trying to accomplish, but lithium is the standard nowadays, and I feel like most people want to get lithium. We can easily upgrade this to a lithium system. We do a lot of stuff with Victron. That's another thing that I would say is a weak point of the trailer, is the actual solar charge systems is also, it's just, it works, it functions, no problem. But if you want to have, you know, kind of a more robust system, you can upgrade to a Victron, or there's a lot of different systems out there, Battleborns or whatever you want to do. Also, if you wanted to double this battery capacity, there is space underneath the bed where we could easily put 6, maybe 8, or even 1,000 amp hours of lithium. 6 would be very, very easy to do in this trailer because there's enough space. Over here we do have a water system. Here's our water pump. You can see we're running PEX, and they actually use copper fittings on all of this, which is very unique. I've never seen a trailer do that. I mean, I think I saw an old Airstream do that. So pretty cool. I hope that continues down the road. A lot of people they're using just plastic fittings. This is definitely going to be stronger and more robust long term. Now over here, I just want to point out a few little simple things, as silly as it is. Right here, you have a lip right here where the table drops down onto for this bed. I've seen these lips installed on many, many trailers, and what they do is they just do like a finish nailer or maybe a screw. They've actually run a bolt through this, and you can see they have the main frame right here, they have an extra piece of wood here, and then they have the strip over here where the table rests on, and they've actually drilled and put in a bolt, a lag bolt on 2 right here. That to me is a little bit overkill, because this table actually has a mount, and the mount itself, once you go down, the actual mount in the center of the table holds itself up by itself. Just the fact that they added this little extra piece, honestly, it's really cool. Another little thing too, these are just some of the little details. This cushion right here, this is the bottom side of the actual bench. This is a pretty thick piece of wood, solid. And then see how they actually put this foam pad right here? That's really nice, because when it actually sits into here, it's gonna sit in this track, and it's not gonna be rattling as much when you're driving down the road. Not that you're gonna hear it rattling, but it's just gonna that contact is gonna be a lot nicer. Now let's come over here and check out what we have underneath this booth area. Okay, over on this side, we have the Renogy inverter system, and this is a 2,000 watt Renogy inverter. Also, you do have vents underneath both sides of the table, so if these things do get warm, they have some ventilation in them. That's really important. I've seen some trailers not ventilating, putting vents in these areas. And this is the top side of the wheel well. As you can see, you got your main channel right here, which is your galvanized steel, and right here you have your aluminum wheel well, and then over here you have a breakaway system, and this has a charger system on it too. Okay, over here we have the 12 volt refrigerator, and that is a Furrion fridge. Coming over here, and this is actually a closet for hanging stuff, and this is kind of going to be your wardrobe, which it makes a lot of sense to have it right here because it's right next to the bathroom, so you can grab your stuff and then go into the bathroom. You also have a very large storage compartment under here. Under here you can see this cool little ventilation thing. This is your positive air pressure system is under there, and that's what's pushing the air in while you're off-roading. So let's head into the bathroom, because this bathroom is beautiful. It is a really pretty bathroom. Okay, here we are in the bathroom. This is usually my favorite part of any tour, because we get to talk dirty. No, not really, just kidding. Anyway, lots of storage space under here. This slides out on both sides. this is all aluminum. Like, this is like very, very strong, very robust. It's built to last. I love how everything in here is aluminum. It's just, to me, it's great quality. The sink right here, very deep, actually. You can kind of see it almost is as big as most kitchen sinks that I see on most campers. Toilet, lots of room. I have lots of room in here. Like, I'm a fairly big guy. I'm about almost 240 pounds, 6 feet. So I mean, I have more than enough leg room. My arm space, like to do my cleaning and whatever, however you do that, I feel like this has plenty of arm room. You do have an outlet back here, which is great. Be shocked how often you see trailers without outlets in the bathroom. Nice to have that. The only thing that I would like to see back here is maybe some storage up here. This is it is on aluminum, but it's the painted, and I think you could probably use some sort of suction cups in here. We could probably add some sort of modification where we add some shelves back here, but other than that, like, this bathroom is pretty awesome. It is a black tank, and we could change that pretty easily. We could go to a composting. We do all kinds of toilets. You might even be able to fit an incinerator in here because there's enough space. We actually have a relationship with the new Cinderella in Motion. They're brand new to the market. Cinderella's been around forever. They're one of the best. We used to deal a lot with EcoJohn. Unfortunately, they're terrible quality, and they don't service their product well. So we stopped using them. But Cinderella is amazing, and they now have the new In Motion model, which is designed for yachts and RVs or caravans. So we're one of their only dealers that carry that product in America. So we could definitely throw in an incinerator, composting, could probably even install a cassette if you wanted to. The options are good. Nice window behind me. We also have a vent with the light and also a fan up there. Now I want to show you one of my favorite things about this trailer, which is the shower. It is massive. Let's go inside. This shower is pretty awesome, actually. This is a very large shower. We got this nice wood floor where the water can run underneath the wood. We have a dual shower heads, also a foot wash. This thing can spray, you can spray your feet off right with this, or kids, you have 3 outlets for your water. This thing comes up and down. You have the nice little rain shower. You have your vent. Love the window. If you want to show off yourself to your whoever, the wilderness, you got a window right there. You can always close it and have some privacy. This guy right here goes up and down. You could put towels up there. There's hangers right here, so you could put wet clothes, wet shorts. Little compartment shelf area right here to hold your space. Soap dispensers. I really like is because you can fill these up and they're not gonna like fall all over the place. They're gonna stay mounted right there. This is a big shower. Lots of space. I don't know if you can quite see in the camera, but I know what everybody always waits for in these tours is the soap drop test, right? Can I drop a bar of soap and pick it up? Let's see. I drop a bar of soap, my imaginary bar of soap, and I bend over and I pick it up. Easy, very easy actually. I'm pretty sure. This shower is so big, I think I could fit 2 people in here. Like, I'm a big guy, I'm 6 feet, 240 pounds. I don't know if I consider myself a heavyweight. I'm not a lightweight for sure. I'm probably on the heavier side. So this is a pretty big shower. It's big enough that I think we could fit 2 people in here actually. Brandon.
Yeah.
Do you want to see if we can both fit in this shower?
I think we could. So you said you were borderline heavyweight, but I'm a true heavyweight.
Okay.
6'2", 300 pounds. And look.
We both fit in the shower. That is crazy.
And I could pick up the soap.
A little bit tighter with 2 people. I could definitely pick up this. Okay, so this is kind of weird and awkward. I don't want to be in a shower with you, so I'm going to actually leave and give yourself some space. But look, it actually has a lot of space.
Showers a couple, save water.
Yeah, but not you. I'm married. You're married too, so there you go.
I like this, and the fact that you can just take this off, and yeah, there's tons of space. It's great.
Yeah. Now can you bend over comfortably? There you go. That's the soap test. Move around. Yeah, there's a lot of space in this shower. Awesome shower. there you have it, the full tour on the UEV 19. And I feel like I went into pretty good depth on this trailer. There's probably some stuff that I missed or didn't mention. Don't forget, you know, the main reason why you get a camper is to go out and explore and to have more freedom and capability to go places that you normally wouldn't. That's why you get an off-road camper, and a camper in general to explore, but an off-road camper to get to places that other people can't go. And that's, you know, there's not one best camper for everybody. Every camper is unique. What is best for you might not be best for me. I can tell you this trailer, we got a king size bed. So that's something that's unique on this trailer. This booth area is massive. It's very wide and it's long, right? You could easily sleep 2 kids on this booth. The other trailers don't have enough space to sleep 2 kids. This can sleep 4 people, right? 2 kids and 2 adults. You could even squeeze a 3rd kid there if you wanted to try to sleep 5. No, it's not ideal and not comfortable, but once again, there's unique features in every single trailer we carry. I wouldn't say one is way better than the other. Maybe some features, right? I mean, when it comes to off-grid capability, solar arrays, lithium, like the Explorer is bar none. There's nothing out there that's going to compete with it. The insulation capability, right? You got 4 seasons. If there was a 5th season, the Explorer could probably go to that 5th season. Outer space, below freezing, right? This is not going to be a crazy, insane winter capable trailer. But once again, maybe that's not what you need. I'm talking with a couple right now on this trailer, and they're like, you know, we just go between Oregon and Arizona, but we want a king size bed. Well, this is a perfect trailer for you then. If you have any questions, make some comments below. You can also reach out to us at 801-860-0035, and you can text that number and just ask us about the UEV 19 by Conqueror. And these are brand new to the US. We're the very first one to get them, and they're actually should be landing here pretty soon. If you're interested in one, you want to get on a wait list or anything, just reach out to us. If you have any other questions and want more details about anything, like I said, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you out and just answer any questions you have. Hopefully, at some point, you can buy a camper from ROA Off-Road and you can become part of our community called the Roamer community, and we can go on an adventure. You can come down to the rally and be a part of something very unique, because we are definitely pushing the industry to completely change, and we hope that you can someday join that movement and help us change the entire RV industry for the better. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.